Welcome to another Igloo imaging tutorial. This one is on 3D glossy logo design, or in this case a shiny Tron X, if you like. So the first thing we're going to look at is the artboard, just so we're working on the same sizes. And I've got mine in pixels to 3840 wide by 2160 wide. To do a new artboard, you just go up to File, New, and you fill in your sizes over here. Change your millimeters to pixels and put those dimensions in. Then let's get rid of this stuff, and we're going to move this big X over here and shrink him down, just so we've got a bit of a reference. It's just buffering the gradient there because it's quite a big artboard. Now I'm going to get rid of this background as well, just so we're working on a white background to start with. So first things first, let's get all these colours sorted. So rather than me wasting your time going through each one, if you just want to hit pause for a second and get these boxes set up, just draw little boxes with the rectangle tool and go through and use all these CMYK values. So if you can only see RGB, hit your color options over here and select CMYK. So it says left, cyan 10, magenta 10, yellow 9, black 0. That's how you're going to run through it. So if I actually click that, go to the gradients, this left hand one, so it says left, C10, M10, Y9, K0, 10, 10, 9, 0. So it's the left, set to that. The right is set to 60, 55, 50 and 25. So 60, 55, 50 and 25. So bear in mind that the different gradients as well. Some are block colours, fill colours. This one's a radial gradient. So over here the type is radial, and then some are linear. So this next one's linear. So just make sure you change those to those. So once you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colours set up. This bottom one's a drop shadow. These two fill colours, fill colour, another linear there. On that drop shadow one, we'll come back to it, so don't worry about that for now, but we'll come back to that. That's one right at the end where we just add a little drop shadow underneath the whole logo. So if you just want to hit pause, get those values set up, and then we'll get cracking. Okay, so you should have your colours set up. We'll leave them to one side. We're going to start with the big X. Now, you can start with a font if you like, a big Arial black font, something like that, but we're actually just going to draw it. So we're going to select the rectangle tool, and we're going to draw a rectangle. Just drag and draw a rectangle. So now we want to make it slightly slanted for the X. We're going to hit A, which is your direct select, and select these bottom two anchor points and drag them out holding Shift. Shift will keep it on that same axis. So drag it out to about there. Looks a bit thin, so let's drag that one and drag these two out a bit. Make it nice and chunky. So we're going to press I at this point, which is your colour dropper, and we're just going to make it this 80% black. Now let's move it into a good spot. I've just selected it with a V, and you're going to Alt Shift drag, which is going to duplicate it. You can copy and paste in place, you can do all sorts. So copy and paste in place, select it and press Command C, which copies it, and then Command Shift V, which pastes it in place. And for this it's probably better actually, so we'll use that one. Command Shift V to paste in place. Then over here you got your reflect tool, which shortcuts O. So double click that, and if you've got your preview selected, see mine's on vertical already and it's already done the job, so hit OK. So there's my X. Alright, so now we need to cut bits out. There's a ton of different ways to do this. If you think of a quicker way, then crack on, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to change this one to a different colour. Let's change it to the black. So colour drop the black there. Now we can see the difference. Okay, so let's start with making this section up here, which is this. So let's put this one to the front, Command Shift and these square brackets. So then bring that one to the front. First thing we're going to do is copy and paste both in place. So Command C, Command Shift V, and we've got another copy exactly in front. Now, if you select this top one here and go to Object, Path, Offset Path, what this does, it enlarges the path equally around each edge. So mine's set to 34, let's just leave it at that. So I've got my bigger shape in front. That's a smaller shape. If I select that bigger shape and select the background shape and then go to Pathfinder, and you want minus front. So what's that? If I actually just change the colour now to black, you can see it's chopped out that first bit, which is great, which is exactly what we want it to do. We can get rid of this because we don't need it. It's an exact reflection either way you go. So we'll just do one shape and then duplicate it. So the next thing we want to do, we want to chop another shape off up here. So if we just go with this one and Alt, Shift and direct select with A, Alt and Shift gets us another shape. Now if you press V, I'm just going to drag this out, holding Alt and Shift, and make it a bit bigger. Okay, so we're going to go to, how big do we want it? There. Now if I just change the colour of this one, you can see what's happening here. So Command C, this new yellow shape, Command C, we've copied it. Select the black shape underneath it, and again minus front. Now that gives us the shape, but we need to cut a little section out here. So if we just zoom in a bit, if we Command Shift V, we've got that shape again. So we're just going to move out to about there. Now if we select the grey shape at the back and then we go to intersect, then it's chopped everything out. Okay, so at this stage we lost that other shape because we haven't copied and pasted a duplicate. So it's no problem, we'll just select this new shape and we'll Command C, and then we're going to undo what we just did. So Command Z gets us it back, and we can actually just get rid of this now and press Command Shift V. So it puts that new shape back in, but it still keeps this grey background shape. So then if we just select these two, all we're going to do is drag, holding Alt over here, and go to one of the corners until you can see rotate. Flip this bad boy around, holding Shift so it does it to the 90 degrees, and then move it into place until you see it line up, and select the grey, drop the grey out, press and delete, and then we can make it all black. There we go. So there we've got our X. The first thing we want to do is select everything and press Command G. So now it's one shape. Okay, it's all grouped together. And then the next thing we're going to do is change the colour. So we're going to colour drop I, press I and colour drop that 80% black over there. And then we're going to put a stroke colour on. So select your stroke and just hit black. Going to have to stroke, make that a bit bigger, make it say 5 pixels, and align the stroke to the outside. Okay, so if we zoom in, that's what you should be able to see. So once you've got the stroke in there, the next step is to extrude and bevel. So let's go up to select everything, go up to effects, 3D, extrude and bevel, and hit preview. We don't need these options. Preview. So the numbers, I've written down these numbers to make it easier for you guys. If you're working on the same size artboard and roughly the same shape, it should get you to the same spot. So the first one is 28, the next one is minus 33, and the next one is 10. Then our perspective is 41, and our extrude depth is 333. So that roughly gets us to hit OK. This similar sort of shape. If anything, ours is a bit deeper and a bit more laid back, but that's fine. So the next thing you want to do is knock off the stroke. So just select the stroke and hit none. And we're going to go up to Object and Expand Appearance. And that's going to put everything into the shapes that we see here. So first thing we're going to do is select the top shapes. So that one, hold down Shift when you select these shapes. And to start off, we're going to color drop. So press I, and we're going to color drop this linear gradient here, the second one. And we're going to drag, hit gradient, and we're going to drag. We're going to drag the gradient across. Let's try a bit more like that. And the gradient looks good, but let's move the slider just up towards the top a bit. About there. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to just do these side panels. In fact, let's do these in between that one. So as you select and you're pressing A, click that shape, hold down Shift, click the other shape. You can hit the space bar to get the hand tool to scroll down and click that shape. And we're going to change those just to black. Alright, now you can start to see some separation. These bottom two as well need to be black. So again, A, holding down Shift, select both, just hit black. These side panels are at 80% okay, 80% black, which is correct already, so they don't need to do anything. Let's change this one, so let's just color drop the black. That's good, that's looking good. Now let's get the yellow shapes in. So click these top two, A, holding down Shift, select both, color drop I, that one. And we want to drag the gradient pretty much in line from one edge to the other. That one looks good. This one, let's just select it by itself. So press A, select it by itself. That looks nice, that's fine. Let's select that side shape with A and this side shape, and we're just going to color drop with I, the 100% yellow. So that's good. The next thing we're going to do is add some of these shadows, reflections, to make it give it a bit more depth. So let's zoom in on this corner here, and with the pen tool, so press P, we're just going to move along to this line here. Just click once, down to the corner, click, click. We need to find that corner. Where's it gone? Let's press Apple Y. When you press Apple Y, you can see the outlines much easier. And then let's connect these two up. But as you connect this one, when you see the little circle, connect and hold and drag it out. So I'll do that again. I'm just following the lines. Connect, hold, drag out to about there. And then command click off it. Press Command Y again so you can go back to the preview. And then with the A tool, select that yellow shape, and we're going to use this darker gradient again. So color drop I with that one. And we're going to drag from about the middle. If it does that, just draw a different shape. We're going to drag in between these two spots to about the corner there. That's just right. We just need a subtle shape. So we're going to do from here to here on this one. Let's go back down, press Command Y, press P, go from there to there, to there, back to the 0, hold it down, and about there should be fine. Command Y, and it's already got that gradient because it was the last one that we used. So let's just tweak the gradient slightly into the corner. Nope. Get it going about there. So look. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe a bit further on. Try it this way. drag it across there. There, that's good. Let's go with it. So the next thing to do are these top ones. So let's go up here, zoom in. Let's just have a look where we are. So we're from the corner down to about here. Okay. So you don't need the outline mode anymore. Just pen tool, click on the corner, across, down to about there, up to the top. Wait till you see the circle, click and hold, and drag that shape out to about there. And zoom out, and we're gonna color drop this gradient here, which is the one that goes from 20% opacity to 0. So let's color drop that one, and let's drag the gradient down this line here. That's about right. Let's get the side gradient on, side shadow rather, reflection. Pen tool again. That's about there. Click and hold, drag the shape in, and it's already fill it in the same one, so we don't need to do anything with that. That looks good. About right. These two shapes here have got little reflections on, so let's do these. Pen tool again in the corner, down about 3/4 of that line. Click and hold, and drag it in. While we're there, do this one. Click and hold. Select, direct select with A, both those shapes, and this one we need to pump up the 20%. So with the shape selected and you've color dropped the gradient, let's go to this one here, which is the 20%. Let's move that up to about 60%. See if that's done the trick. Yeah, in fact, we can probably go up to about 80%. Yeah, that's good. That's nice. Now the next thing we're going to do is make this little yellow line around the edges. So let's start up here. And we're going to use P. I'm going to click on that corner point. And if you move out, you don't have to hold anything down. Just click once and then move out and press the space. Press and hold the space bar and drag yourself down to this bottom corner. Let go of the space bar. And there you go, so you're into that corner, and you want to be in that corner. And we can change these in a second, but just go to about there. Come back to this point here. It's only a thin line that we need. Hold that space bar down again. Scroll back up there. And make it a nice thin line. Let's see what that looks like. Let's make sure that's on there, it's not. There we go. Direct select it, and press I and color drop your yellow. So let's have a look. That looks about right. The only thing is it's in front of this shape here, so we need to ungroup the object. So select with V your main shape and press Command Shift G. Just press the G twice, because sometimes it's grouped in different ways. And we want to see if we can send this line back. So press Command and the left hand square bracket. Let's just keep pressing it until it goes behind the shape there. So let's see, yeah, it's gone behind there. So we need to select this end one and Command and the left hand square bracket until it goes behind. So that's that one done. Then we're going to do this one and that one and one up there. So let's start with this one up here. Actually, you can't see that one. We've got a slightly different angle on here, so we don't need to do that one there, but let's do that edge down there. So press P, go to that corner, down to that one, down to that one, up a bit, and about there, and about there. Press I, color drop your yellow. That's how that doesn't look about right. Probably a little bit thicker than that one, so let's just move it in a bit. So direct select that, move that in just a bit, move that in, little bit. Move him. Let's have a look. So that looks pretty good. I think we're practically there. So at this stage, let's get rid of that one. Let's drag our cursor over everything and press Command G, which is going to group it. Then if you can see your align to selection, you want to drop down there and click align to artboard. Horizontal, vertical. Let's make it a touch bigger. There we go. Now let's draw a rectangle in the background. And let's color drop this top one. Now let's Command Shift and the left hand square bracket to send it to the back, and we're going to hit our gradient. So we want to bring the gradient in to a sort of oval shape, bring him in a touch, and then rotate it around so he's right in the middle there. Maybe make him a bit bigger so that edge comes in. Yep, that looks good. Now select that with V and press Command 2 to lock it. Now we're going to select everything. We're going to Command C, Command Shift V, so we've pasted an exact copy in front, and then we're going to unite everything. So we press unite and we make one shape, and let's just color drop it black. And then once that's selected, you Command Shift and that left hand square bracket, and that's going to send it right to the back. But we want to bring it up one so it's in front of the background. So just press Command and the right hand square bracket, and it should now be in front of the background. Yeah, it's in front of the background. So if you press V and select your top shape, just press Command 2 to lock it. So now you're just going to be selecting that black shape, okay? So with the black shape selected, you want to go up to Effects, Stylize, Drop Shadow. Now these are already my presets loaded in, so if I click Preview, it might just take a second because it's quite big to render the preview. Gaussian blur. So there you go. You want the mode to be normal, opacity 50, X offset 0, Y offset about 36, blur about 36, and the color is the 5643 126. So that was down there, the 5643 126. So let's just apply that again. Drop shadow. Okay. Let's give it a few seconds to render. And there we go. And that is pretty much it. Feel free to mess around with the design, try different letters, shapes, numbers, whatever it is you want to do for your logo, but that gives you a good idea of how to make a 3D logo. Hopefully that was helpful. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.